So just after posting my morning video on August 28th, I went to my Spanish class, and the person acting as the Spanish instructor slash helper was none other than the retarded chick, Jasmine Barkus. And, it was very obvious, same monkey ears protruding out of her head, chimpanzee type look. And I'm not making fun of her looks, I'm just trying to give a apt description because if you put her face and a chimpanzee's face side by side, you'd believe in evolution. But anyways, and so she's doing this whole cross-dressing routine where she, because her and Tara Harrington are homosexuals, queer, I should say, and they are trying so hard to come up with this narrative that I persecute gay people, when in fact I was volunteering at a coffee shop down the street that catered to disenfranchised folks, which very much oftentimes includes gay folks. And so they are desperate for this victim type narrative to say, we deserve his money, we deserve to sue him, we deserve to rob him because he's against the gays and Flagstaff is full of gays. And it's like, bruh, I moved here and I live here. Like, do you really think I'm gonna be some podunk conservative asshole? I don't understand it. I mean, I do understand it. They just want money. And so they're trying to rage bait their community and say, he's anti-gay, he's anti-gay. And the folks over at Heroes Sushi tried the same thing. But they actually invited me into their home only to try to rob me later on down the road and try the whole, we're gay routine and you're trying to steal our sushi shop from us. And so it's very apparent that they have no legs to stand on. They're fucking stupid as fuck, like clinically too. The woman, like I said earlier, is literally sensitive to the words idiot, stupid, and dummy because she got called that all of her childhood because she's in fact very fucking stupid, gigantic idiot, and very dumb. And it's just really sad that they're resorting to rage baiting. It's kind of like how General Charles Brown resorted to race baiting because I called him out for taking prostitute bribes from politicians that wanted to get their way from him, and he totally caved in. He's like, ooh, pussy, high class pussy, okay, you can have whatever you want. And it's like, the guy basically sold out the US government to some foreign entities, the US military, even worse, and very high national defense and national security sector. And so it was really disappointing. And I'm kind of seeing the same thing here, right? These folks, they work in intelligence, they're supposed to be assisting in the investigation process. They're National Guardsmen on patrol that work at Iwas Thai Cuisine, and they're resorting to pretending that I am somehow anti-gay or anti-queer, and they're doing that because they want money. And at this point, this monkey-ass bitch, Jasmine Barkus, her and her chimpanzee-looking-ass family would pull up to Hero Sushi, get special treatment from the other National Guardsmen, Taki and Jeremy, who ended up stealing my tips, similar to how Tara Harrington would steal my tables and therefore end up stealing my tips. And so it's just that the pattern is there, the trend is there, the evidence is there. The Arizona Labor Board knows all about it. The National Guard base knows all about it. And the Supreme Court knows all about it. And so I just want to put this video out there because before anybody caves into this notion that I'm somehow anti-queer and also living in Flagstaff for some reason, right? They should maybe consider that there's a lot of money on the line and these people have tried anything and everything and they absolutely failed because they fucking suck at their jobs. I mean, these people had endless resources and I'm just a dude working a whatever job and going to a whatever school and dealing with faculty that are up in arms against me and dealing with management at my employers that are up in arms against me and still just getting by, and so I think all of that information should be taken into consideration when some retarded bitch pulls up and thinks she's quote-unquote gonna fight me, I mean, her and her brother were literally having a near mental breakdown while they were eating at Hero Sushi and I was serving them. He like wanted to get up and fight me, It's like, why? Because your prostitute sister got caught being, sucking off everybody at the National Guard's base, and taking a beating when the conflict of interest was called out. It's like everybody can live their best lives, have whatever sex life they want, but there was some major conflicts of interest there, and I called them out, and her family got pissed off. They were like, she's so much more than that. I was like, okay, great. I never said she wasn't. I'm just saying there's a gigantic conflict of interest. She just wants my money, and she's pretending I'm against certain niche communities, certain races, certain creeds, And so I think at the end of the day, when you're so desperate that you start spinning up lies and pulling shit out of your ass, you just look like an idiot that's pulling shit out of your ass. And Jasmine is exactly that, just a mental patient pulling shit out of her ass, smearing it on the wall, and crying to everybody about how I shit her pants and I made her smear shit on the walls. And it's kind of gross, it's really fucking gross. It's really fucking sad. The best thing I can do is let the community know, and so maybe they can handle this bitch, because I don't want to touch her with a 10-foot pole. She's all over my dick and at the same time trying to fight me. It's really sad. It's really pathetic. I don't know. I've never met this big of a fucking loser before. A real big loser. Hey guys, today is Monday, August 28th. I just wanted to do a little update on my experiences here at NAU with the stalking and the attempts at robbing me of my security clearance compensation. I wrote a little review on the campus living office that's on the north side of campus, because I had a lot of bad experiences with them. Basically, there's like hardline supporters of Saif ul Haq, somebody who I had a restraining order against for pointing loaded firearms at me and for sedating me and injecting things in my face, and also causing me sexual injury, which I'm not involved with him, but basically he caused me injuries after putting me under with a sedative. And yeah, so I figured I'd write a review for the campus living office, because they let him be my roommate. They gave him a job as some sort of maintenance man, which he would use to break into my dorm even while I was there and pretend he's fixing things. He came in with his mother, and he offered her up because his mother is a little bit, actually very promiscuous, and he's basically offering her up to me. He's like, because first he offered me his wife. He was like, please screw my wife and give me money. And I was like, no. And he's like, oh, please screw my mom and give me money. And I was like, no. And his mom went crying, and his dad went crying, oh, you made our family look bad. You made my mother look bad. You made my wife look bad. Stop talking about how she screws basically everybody. And so many of Saif ul Haq's friends have basically gotten with her, and this isn't some sort of, sexually progressive community. It's kind of like in the shadows, she's like slinking around and banging everybody. It's not like it's some sort of understood thing that, like, hey, as long as the respect is there, like, there's no self-respect on her part. There's no respect from any of the friends that get with him, and so it's just kind of funny to me. So this really creepy guy that's been stalking me, and I had to get a restraining order against, has been doing this very same thing at NAU. I talked to the harassment office at NAU, and basically they let me know they couldn't do anything. They're like, we can get you a psychological referral. I was like, I don't need a psychology referral. I have a restraining order right here, and I need help with this harassment. But it seems like a lot of NAU faculty and staff are basically in on this scam, and they call it a game or whatever, but that's how they anticipate getting their bonuses, is by ripping people off of their security clearance compensation. Somebody that I went to school with when I was a little kid, his name is Joshua Gus. He moved in as my roommate at my next dorm after I moved away from the old dorm. And so Basically, the dorms are being used as some sort of way to, as some sort of vulnerability, you know? They're like, oh, we run the dorm, so we're going to run that part of your life. And they insert somebody that I haven't spoken to in years and years to try to pretend that we're longtime friends, and he's looking after me, right? And so that's why Josh is here, and he's pretending he's looking after me, and oh, he's here for me. And it's so fucking gross. And the same thing goes for Saif ul Haq. I mean, him and my mom, who have been sexually involved with each other, are trying to push some sort of narrative that I'm special needs and they need to look after me. And that's why they're in town, even though they usually live in Phoenix or, you know, Cali. And so, you know, that's been part of the happenings here at NAU, is basically the security clearance compensation theft being perpetrated by these individuals. You know, these are the same people that adjudicate the security clearance. These are the same people that investigate the security clearance, and they're using their powers to effectively rob you, right? And they do it by effectively having a monopoly over every aspect of your life, and they try to run the company that gives you employment. You know, at Heroes Sushi, they would rob me of my tips, and they would give it to Lilia Bernanke, Ben Bernanke's daughter, who is really creepy and really fucking weird. And she felt entitled to marry me because her parents ordained it. And it's like, sorry, this is real life. I don't fucking like you. You're really weird. You're a furry. Get out of my life, right? And all that weird shit. And it's just like a recurring theme of entitlement to be involved with you. And, you know, when I do personally make a choice to be attracted to somebody, right? Not even very vocally, just like a personal interaction. And I say, hey, like, I really like you. Maybe we can go on a date someday. They'll find doppelgangers of that individual and send them after me. One individual, her name is Gabriella Mihailovich, and I went to elementary school with her as well, similar to Joshua Gus, who was stalking me. And, you know, was made to live in my dorm. Not a crazy coincidence. I know it's a small world, but that's not a coincidence. It's something the housing office has been doing to me for a while. They also made me live with Saif ul Haq. And anyways, so I said, hey, Gabriella, I think you're beautiful. I'm very attracted to you. In fact, I've always kind of liked you. We should go on a date someday. They went ahead and sent her doppelganger, a really creepy chick. I keep pictures of her in case I see her again because I need to document her involvement in my life. But just the other day, she followed me over to my local bank. She went and picked up like 15 little money baggies from the counter. And I just kept looking at her because it wasn't the first time that she followed me around. She also has a fake Facebook profile, I noticed, using Gabby's name. And on that profile, she uses a combination of her photos and Gabby's photos. And so it's a clear-cut case of, you know, some sort of identity theft or abuse of somebody else's identity to try to pose as them and try to get me to date them, or try to create some sort of record that I am dating them. But you know, in truth, the only person I've emailed is the actual Gabby that I went to school with way long ago, and I've kept my communications in straight up email. I said, hey, please don't be involved with these people. Hey, I think you're awesome. Let's get together sometime. You know, things like that. And I let her know that I wanted to help her out with a deep fake issue that she was experiencing on the internet, with AI being used for things that she probably wasn't very comfortable with. You know, so I kept my communication very clear and via email, because I noticed that there was also this stalker bitch using her identity. And I also let Gabby know that. I was like, hey, there's somebody abusing your identity. I just think you should know about it. Yeah, and so, you know, that's been part of my experiences at NAU so far as the stalking and harassment goes. The on-campus office has been not useful at all. They basically exist to try to make you look like a crazy person for reporting harassment and abuse. That's entirely why the office exists. I mean, the people there are not helpful at all. I literally tell them, hey, I have a restraining order against this individual. I don't want to live with him. I have a real problem that you're sending him over to my place as a maintenance man. They're like, oh, well, have you tried speaking to the mental health office? It's like, I don't want to speak to one of your therapists. This isn't a therapist situation. This is, you should get the police involved situation. This is, hey Mo, why don't you send us that restraining order? We'd love to take a look at it. That seems like a problem that's happening on our campus. But it seems like that kind of logic just doesn't apply, and it's disappointing to experience firsthand, but not very surprising. I mean, that's the grift that a lot of people feel like is their only ticket to making it in life, is robbing other people of their government cheese. So that's one aspect of things, and then the other aspect of things is other stalkers. One of them, so Jasmine Barkus and Tara Harrington from this restaurant that I used to work at, called Iwa's Thai Cuisine. As mentioned in the other videos, they were sexually abusive, sexually harassing. It was really fucking gross, but I put it all out there, and I let everybody know exactly what was going on. And they even followed me over to the next restaurant that I worked at, where the owners also worked with the National Guard, and the owners of that restaurant, the new restaurant that I was working at, were treating my former employees that came there to harass me with a lot of like prestige and respect, and they were like giving them free cake and free wine and shit, and basically they're giving them a pat on the back for fucking with me, and those guys were stealing my tips, and so they got reported for that as well. Now, Tara and Jasmine, similar to Saif ul Haq, they're so desperate to get a little bit of money that they're willing to throw themselves in front of my moving vehicles to try to collect some sort of insurance claim, or try to claim that I'm going out of my way to hit them, when in reality I'm just biking around campus like usual. The other day they were at this bridge in front of this dorm, a bridge that goes over a road, and I was biking right by them, and they were wearing masks, and they turn around and they point at me, and they walk like almost into my bicycle, as if to like create some sort of narrative that I ride my bike dangerously or something. And Jasmine's a real fucking loser. I mean, I just worked with her, but she tried to pretend that I was her boyfriend and this and that, and it was really fucking yucky, and I could not stand her. And so eventually I moved on. Also a situation of theft of tips, also a situation of sexual abuse. They would send me pornos, and they would punish me at work if I didn't watch their pornos because they wanted free clout. It was like, dude, you guys are something else, and like the grossest kind of something else. And I didn't enjoy it, and so I moved on. But now they're on campus, and now they're harassing me. Jasmine is always on her electric scooter, and she, like the other day I was moving, rolling around my things in one of those blue bins, and there's no sidewalk, so I had to take the road. But she was like riding past me, and she's like, there's cars behind you, It's like, yeah, like none of us have a choice about this situation, like we're all doing our best. And so yeah, like some chick that I no longer work with and do not like, and never did like and never dated, is trying to claim that I'm her ex-boyfriend, and when I don't go along with her narrative so that she can claw some free government money out of me, she goes, oh yeah, well, you're trying to hit me with your bicycle. And Saif ul Haq did the same thing. He would try to throw himself in front of my car. I mean, he would literally jaywalk and try to throw himself in front of my car because he was suicidal about how much money he spent trying to ruin my life, and it's just none of it worked out for him. And to me, it's all hilarious, to be honest. I mean, I don't find any of it to be anything more than annoying and funny, because these people are pathetic. I mean, that's what they're resorting to try to make a buck instead of making their own way in life. They feel that, oh, once upon a time I was robbed of my security clearance compensation, and so maybe I should rob you. And I do hope they get hit by a vehicle. Maybe they should jump in front of a bus, or Jasmine should jump in front of one of the trains here in downtown Flagstaff, because she's just really dumb. But maybe she shouldn't. Maybe her clinical retardation that she informed me about, she let me know she's very sensitive to the words stupid, idiot, and dumb, because she's clinically retarded and she's very slow, right? And so it's like, I was so good to her, I was so good to all of the employees, but she feels that because she's special needs, she feels that because she wants some money, that I should date her, or that I should go along with this little story of me being a dangerous bicycle rider or something. So yeah, that's been my happenings at NAU so far. I'm just keeping a record because these people are really desperate, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up, killing themselves and trying to blame me for it. Yeah, especially Tara. Tara tries to pretend that I am, persecuting her for her gender change and her new genitalia that she got sewed on. But never once has that happened. Like, the extent of that kind of a conversation went like this. It was like, hey, I have a pussy and a penis. And I was like, okay, cool. And she was like, we should have sex. And I was like, no. And she was like, you should watch my pornos then. And I said, no. And then she got mad and she started stealing tables from me in the restaurant to try to make more tips at me. And so that's the level of maturity of individuals that I'm dealing with. Just wanted to put it out there. Thanks for tuning in, folks.